Welcome to Scoundrels, Inc., the show on this YouTube channel, also known as Scoundrels, Inc., where we talk about, you guessed it, the incorporation of scoundrels. But also sometimes we talk about the Bad Batch.
Our Scoundrels stock prices are way up.
Way up. Buy, sell. That's me on the phone all day.
Mad Money Brandon.
I don't ever sell a Bad Batch of stock, but when I do, I like to set my crosshairs right on them. And we're going to talk about today's episode called Crosshairs Snow Adventures. The Outpost.
Crosshairs Snow Adventures.
If that doesn't make you want to subscribe to this channel or subscribe to our podcast feed, I don't know what will.
Did I make a huge mistake having Brandon intro this
No,
show?
no. Everything went
The
swimmingly.
funny thing is, I know how to do it professionally.
I know.
I choose
You
not
like
to.
you like had like training in this at some point, or like
I used to host a show or two back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now
it really doesn't show anymore.
we don't know what happened.
You're
Well,
like,
but hold on.
You're like Grogu, right?
Yeah.
Like all that training, we got to unlock it.
Also,
you know?
you were the straight man on those shows mostly.
Yeah.
Right?
Now I'm the...
You were the anchor
wild
on those.
card.
Yeah, now you're the wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always he's always hopped up on the sauce.
We lost our last wild card last week, so
Yes.
now we got
Joker's wild, baby.
Can't replace Kevin, but guess what? Now I'm in charge, Kevin. I'm in charge.
I heard you are taking over the KOTOR movie franchise.
Yes, I am. I'm directing the KOTOR franchise. It's a huge
Are
responsibility.
you writing and going to be starring in it too? Is that
Yes. Yeah. I play a character called
Logan Starr.
Logan All-Star.
Logan All-Star.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Logan Starr's older brother.
Yes, Logan Starr's older brother, because the first name is last.
It's not
They switch it. It's a
Slogan
reverse.
Star?
Slogan
Slogan
Logan
Star.
All-Star. Hey now, you're an all-star.
This is so dumb. I'm laughing at it. Slogan. I do want to make a ripoff now of Kevin's movies, which is and just be like Slogan.
For some reason, this sounds like a bad porn, and he's just gonna go Step Revan. I'm stuck in the Outrider.
Oh no,
Not the Outrider. What's
And
the ship called in?
Oh
KOTOR?
shoot, I forget.
The Ebon Hawk.
Yeah, the Ebon Hawk. Yeah,
Got it.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Oh wait, no, hold on. That's my character hates KOTOR, right? Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin's on the show now.
Kevin's
so I
on the
can
show,
like
so
it.
we're not going to get the KOTOR audience anymore. So we just got to keep saying KOTOR as many times as possible.
Maybe if
Knights of the Old
then,
Republic.
Maybe they'll show up like Candyman or something, but like in a nice way.
or Beetlejuice.
Maybe
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Hey guys,
Revan. No Revan. Damn.
guys, scumbag Imperial Lieutenant.
Dude.
Yeah, what is the deal with these Imperials? First
What's
Rampart,
the deal with these Imperials?
First Rampart. Now, like, is Palpatine's plan to dominate the galaxy just hiring the most incompetent D-bags to run his military?
He only hires from the resort. What do you call that? Country club youth.
I will say it's a little concerning that the folks over at Lucasfilm really know how to write a good prick. It's like
Little weasel.
yeah, it's like it's.
Did you say
they do-
right or ride?
Right, like
Oh,
W-R-I-T-E. No, like they really know how to do a good job of writing just an absolute a-hole of an Imperial officer, like a little too good.
Yeah.
Where I have to go, how do you know how to do that too good? Like this guy, this lieutenant, I love that he met his demise in this episode. Spoiler alert. And
I mean, they're watching this.
I mean, yeah,
fucking-
exactly.
They either don't care about Bad Batch or they've already watched it.
That's true.
This is
no in
airing
between.
almost a week after the Bad Batch episode. we're
Well,
talking
you
about.
know.
You've had time to watch it.
Yeah.
I want to say before we get into it,
Yeah.
I got excited for a minute. I thought it was Veers.
Oh, did you?
I was like, "Oh, young Veers." No, not Veers at all. Damn it.
God, I can't wait for that comment.
Veers would have been cooler.
Yeah, exactly. And then he started talking. I'm like, "Oh, it's not Veers. Never mind."
Yeah, whatever happened to those types of Imperials? You know what I
Maximilian
mean?
Veers.
Yeah, like the Veers, the
Hey, Max.
Ozels of the world.
Played by who plays him? Something Glover.
Yeah, Julian Glover.
Julian Glover.
He plays Aragog in Harry Potter.
And Indiana Jones
Yes,
guy in
he's a
Indiana Jones.
dude in Indiana Jones also.
There you go.
Hmm.
Good job.
Yeah.
Love this episode. Love this episode.
Our podcast? I love the episode of our podcast, too.
Well, remains to be seen.
It's already the best one.
Ever that we've ever done.
We started out on a real high note.
We did. But no, I really love this episode of The Bad Batch. I mean, the episodes with Crosshair have just been stellar. Like,
thank you.
Crosshair, talk to me about the process in which you and Mayday bonded in the snow. Tell me what was that like?
You know, us clones are brothers. We stick together. Sometimes it's a bond, or sometimes it's the frostbite.
Wow, that's really interesting insight into your process.
Yes, we could have saved him. Ironic that a character called Mayday, no one heard his calls.
You didn't see that as a type of foreshadow, or?
I only believe in the shadow of the Empire.
Okay, well, they don't care about you, man. I don't know what to tell you. They don't care about you.
Speaking of how much they don't care,
yeah.
How fucked up is it that they were guarding Stormtrooper armor the whole time?
Yeah,
man, just
what a
add an
great
turn.
insult.
Holy hell.
What a great
And
turn.
then when they come back, and he's just such a prick, and he's like, "Oh, you didn't get the cargo, so I guess you failed your mission."
It's like, yeah, I did. Fuckface.
I would have shot him a lot sooner, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean this whole episode, I love the tension in it. I love the look when he's like, you were supposed to replace us 36 days ago. We're still here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, at least I assume a rotation is a day.
That's what I'm, yeah.
But...
And if Crosshair wasn't, like, horribly fatigued from being out in the cold all night, like, he could have killed all those stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Because those guys, they're literally just, like, lifting boxes. They're not even real soldiers, which is, like, so funny that, like, these Imperial officers have, like, this, like, superiority complex. It's like, haha, clone. Like, they're just, like, horribly racist against clones for some reason.
Well, when the officer gets in, he says, "Oh, great, more clones."
Yeah.
Right? When he gets in the dropship in the first
He's
place.
like, clones are expendable. He's like, you're expendable, Crosshair. And he, like, threatened to kill Crosshair. Like,
well, and when...
do you know who you're talking to? He's not just a regular clone, dude.
Even before we meet the lieutenant, there's that discussion with that sort of, like, Imperial aide talking to the three clones about their retirement. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, what do we do now? And she's like, I don't know, take it up with the VA.
Yeah.
Like, how fucked up is that?
Yeah.
It's really...
And
they've done a great job of portraying this transition and how awful it has been towards the clones.
Well, and it's true to, like, look, none of us are, veterans or whatever, but...
I am a clone, though.
You are a clone. It is true to life that, we don't take care of our service people.
Not as well as we should.
No.
Yeah. This, from a technical aspect of this episode, this series, has just been on another level. I am completely astounded every time I watch an episode. First of all, I think the storytelling has been really great for the most part. There's some episodes where I'm like, oh, this is fine. But in large part, I'm always really invested in the story, and that's because of just how well this show is made.
Visually, it's getting better and better.
The music, the sound design, just everything they do to bring these stories to life in this animated world where I don't know if this is like a right phrase or word, but it's like elevated animation in some manner.
That's what I was going to say was I don't think the animation is getting better, and I think you agree with this. I don't think the animation is getting better. I think their technique of using real-world cinematography techniques and portraying that in animation is getting better, right?
Yeah, there was an article that came out after the Riot Racing episode about like using rear projection for like those race scenes. Whereas, for like rear projection, if you don't know, it's basically like, think of like that pod as an asset within a virtual world. And instead of moving that pod through like the course, basically they're moving the course around the pod. So it creates a more of a dynamic type of feel. And it gives it a more of a, that's why you get that like that blurriness that gives you that really
in the same way that you would
visceral
do
speed you can feel
if you've got an actor in a race car.
Yeah, exactly. So they approach it as if it's like a live action setting or a live action show. So they're using live action cinematic techniques. And in this episode too, I even tweeted out they use a rack focus on one shot between Mayday and Crosshair. Crosshair's in the foreground and he says something. and he's completely in focus, and then they rack the focus where it goes back, the focus shifts back to Mayday, and it just creates this immersive feel of like this is an actual environment. This is such a great job of making you feel in that environment.
It's animation. You can keep them both in focus.
Absolutely.
But the fact that they chose not to makes it feel so much more real.
Yes.
And it gives it that interesting depth of field that...
Yes, and in this particular type of episode where it's really intense and the environment that they're in is really harsh and dark, just adds to the turbulence that both of these characters, Mayday and Crosshair, are involved in, and how much Crosshair also. I mean, this dude is going through it in this episode. He is going through it.
Both Crosshair and Mayday.
I mean, yes, but Crosshair's really finally coming to terms with the fact that no matter what he does, there's always going to be an imperial officer that looks down on him, less of him, even though he is without a doubt the most skilled trooper in the Empire in most regards, in most settings he's going to be in, right?
Well, even Mayday kind of calls this out when the lieutenant first comes into the base, and he says, you know, where's your helmet, trooper? And he says, no, it's Commander, Lieutenant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because Commander outranks Lieutenant, right? He's like pointing out, like, no, I outrank you, bud. Like, and then he's like, okay, I'm taking command of the base. Really, how many battles have you commanded? And he doesn't answer because it's 0. Right, you've literally got someone who is, probably put in that position based on who his parents are, or nepotism, or academy scores, whatever. But here you have clones who are trained from birth to do this, and who have fought in battles, who have fought in wars.
Yeah,
right.
Like Brendan was saying, like all the officers, all the stormtroopers, they're not wartime tested. Like
Sure.
all the clones are,
and realistically, all the stormtroopers aren't bad people. They think they're doing the right thing.
They're bad people, though.
Well, the stormtroopers not necessarily. The officers are bad fucking people.
Sure.
Yeah. Just like, what a freaking loser, man. Just like, literally, he's like, we're the only ones left. Everyone else died because you just abandoned us here. And he's like, oh, you couldn't keep your men alive?
Yeah.
You're a failure.
Like, dude, are you...
Someone didn't do their job.
Like, bro, give it 20 years. See how many of your people get killed by teddy bears. Please and thanks.
What do we think happens with Crosshair from here on out, though?
I don't
Nothing
know.
good.
I don't. So, we end with him on
Tantus,
Mount Tantus,
right?
Yeah.
He is bald, right? You know who else is bald?
Don't say it.
Snoke. And he's got that weird eye thing.
Yeah.
And Crosshair's got that crosshair eye.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Oh, no.
We're keeping it alive for you, Kevin.
Yeah.
No, so we end on Mount Tantus, and I believe it is Emmerly is the name of the...
the scientist that's overlooking him, basically?
Sorry, Emery.
Emery
is the name of the orderly who's kind of like taking care of him. She's like, once you're better, you're going to be under observation, and then the doctor will see you. Probably talking about Dr. Hemlock.
Yeah.
But I wanted to point out, I got a theory about Emmerly, or Emery. I think she's a fucking clone. And I would even go so far to say I think she is an equivalent to Tech. And because we've seen a few of these Imperial female attendants, I guess, on Tantus. Last episode, we had 2 of them. They both have New Zealand Kiwi accents, and they both have similar complexion that matches that of Tamura Morrison. I think they're clones.
Future friend of the show.
Future friend of the show, Tamura. And I think they're clones, and I think that she is specifically meant to be the Tech equivalent because her goggles are almost identical to Tech's, just a different color.
Let me ask, what would be the significance of her being a clone, aside from the fact that she's just as smart as Tech?
I don't know.
Okay. You just feel like she
Well,
would be
they could be. So here's the thing, right? We know we're leading to something. We know that they're going to be looking for Omega. Most likely they're going to be sending out a batch of clones to find, or a batch of clones or stormtroopers, probably those commandos, I'm guessing.
Good or bad.
To find Omega. I think they'll fail, and then I think they will send the female Bad Batch after the Bad Batch. I don't know. It just
or they'll send Crosshair?
Like if you're asking me what they're gonna do, right? And Crosshair and maybe some of these other clones.
Yeah.
If you're asking me what they're gonna do, I don't know. I have no idea. I just think there's too many similarities between her and Tech. Like in the way she's framed, the fact that they specifically give her a Kiwi accent, she has the Kaminoan doctor
uniform
garb on, right? There's too much there for me to go like, because that same Kaminoan uniform is what the clones wore before they were, So I don't know. There's too many similarities there for me to go like, there's something going on there.
I don't think she's going to be a clone just because I don't know what the significance of that would be and what it would mean. So therefore, I don't see why they would why would she have to be a clone? That just that's kind of like an innocuous thing.
Just because we don't see it,
sure, but that's why I'm saying saying I don't think she is a clone just because I can't personally see what the significance of that would be.
She could be Tech's future love interest.
Sure. I doubt it.
I do
Tech fell in love with Riot Racing buddies. Hate to tell you.
Well, maybe her and Tech go run away and do Riot Racing.
For sure.
I saw some people speculating they're going to turn Crosshair into a Death Trooper.
I think that's possible.
Like, what even is a Death Trooper? I thought it was just some guy.
I don't know because they got like weird robot voices.
Yeah, they're like.
I've always speculated the Death Troopers.
That was really bad.
So in Legends, in the Dark Forces series, we are first introduced to the Dark Trooper project.
Dark Troopers.
There it is.
Dark Troopers.
Which are...
I should have asked John
We need more exposition.
Can you say
Dark
Troopers?
Could you say Dark Troopers, please?
It's an inside joke. You won't get it, but we will.
What do you mean Dark Troopers?
I think that... so in Legends canon with the Dark Forces series, we're first introduced to the Dark Troopers. And originally, they are these like droid human hybrids. Mm-hmm. And then eventually they become the robotic Dark Troopers that we're more familiar with from Mandalorian. So when they gave the Dark Troopers those weird droid voices, I kind of speculated that the Death Troopers, excuse me, those weird droid voices, I kind of speculated that they might be proto Dark Troopers. They might eventually evolve into the Dark Trooper project. But I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just wild speculation.
I think Crosshair is eventually going to break free from Mount Tantus.
I think so too.
I don't think he will rejoin the crew of the Bad Batch. I think he's going to be kind of like a Lone Ranger out there, kind of like their guardian
of the Force.
He's going to be kind of like a guardian angel type of thing, where he's going to try and find, like, he's going to try, I think, in some roundabout way, try and make penance for what he did with the group, and he's not going to. Like, I think their group, like Omega, mainly will forgive Crosshair.
Sure.
And Crosshair will be like, I don't need your apologies, or I don't need your forgiveness.
Even though that's what he wants, but he'll say otherwise.
Maybe. Yeah. But I just think that Crosshair will just be like, you know what?
I'm doing it for you.
Yeah, maybe even that, like that type of mentality. I just think he will kind of go his own way and take out Imperials on his own. Just
I do think that he will end up helping the Bad Batch in some scenario.
He will, yeah.
But I also want to point out they did set up for him rejoining the Bad Batch by removing Echo.
They did
because they have a limit on how many people can be a part of it.
Well, there's only four beds in the ship.
Yeah. Also, I mean, what if Crosshair ends up linking up with Rex and Echo and does
I like
kind
that.
of like that 3-man operation?
I like that a lot.
All the kind of covertness that they're doing
and Cody. Yeah, we don't know where Cody is.
Shoot.
So maybe he goes and finds Cody.
Dang. Mm-hmm. You know what? He probably should find Cody.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about Cody. We haven't seen enough of Cody.
I was waiting for Mayday to be like, why do you talk like that?
Right.
How can like shouldn't you sound like this?
I was hit mad.
What? What unit were you a part of?
You can't tell by my crazy voice.
You can't tell by my crazy eye.
The Bad Batch.
I feel like my impression is just getting worse and worse.
Is.
I don't even know how to respond.
Hey, but don't worry, I'm going to distract us from
a
question.
Yeah,
a question by YoungerBot 555. Do you have any? Oh, sorry, 5555. YoungerBot fives.
Damn.
Do you have any predictions about Omega? Where would you like to see her character go? I don't know. No idea.
Join the rebellion.
Save the rebellion.
Honestly, that'd be cool.
Save the dream.
Yeah.
Lies. Deception.
She becomes Saw Gerrera.
Pork cutlet.
Pork cutlet. Yes.
Pork cutlet.
Pork cutlet will know the truth.
Pork cutlet knows your fears.
Why do I'm just thinking of church saying, why do I feel like you carry your pork cutlet everywhere you go?
Omega. What are they gonna do with Omega? That's really interesting because they've kind of been developing her place within the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I think it will become interesting in future seasons. How does she find her place outside of the Bad Batch?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's her place in the galaxy
Maybe
outside
she,
of this
like-
group?
Maybe she finds a sanctuary for clones or something.
Here's part of my problem. I don't know where the end of this series is, right? Like with Rebels, we kind of know where the end point was going into it.
Sure.
With Clone Wars, we know where the end point was. With Resistance, we sort of knew where the end point was. This is the first animated series where we don't kind of know where the predicted end point is.
I mean,
So
we can theorize because
Sure, we can-
there's only so much time that they as
there's-
clones have a
there's-
lifespan. You know.
but we're talking another decade,
Sure.
right? Like they could keep this series going for a long time because we also don't know how much time has actually passed.
I could probably see another 3 seasons.
Right. And so I think because of that, I don't really know now.
Yeah.
I think a lot can change in that time. If we were to say okay, there's one more season of this show after this, where do I think Omega's going to go? I think that the Bad Batch will just go off into the sunset. I think if it goes longer, I think we'll go with the retirement plan idea we had.
Yeah.
And then in that case, yeah, I think Omega would join the rebellion or not the rebellion directly, but some form of rebel cell.
Yeah,
Right.
kind of like an underground railroad type of thing.
Yeah, or even
where
being
she's just helping refugees.
or she could be a
and-
Fulcrum type figure,
Totally.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of potential there, and I don't really know. I don't think right now there's a clear signpost as to where she's going.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I can't say for sure. Yeah, who knows?
Brando?
Who knows, man? Who
Great.
knows?
Well, Brando, this next question is for mostly you and I.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I can sit back and relax.
No, you can answer too.
Okay, I will not sit back and relax.
So, this question is from Channel 19. Hello.
From who?
Hello.
Channel 19,
Channel 19.
Hello there.
also known as David McKay.
David McKay.
Who from Lost
Oh.
do you want to see in the Damon Lindelof Star Wars movie?
Whoa.
So I got my answer.
Well, I mean, Michael Emerson, who plays
The dog.
who
I want
plays
the dog.
Benjamin Linus,
Henry Gale.
Henry Gale from Minnesota. He is my favorite actor. Believe it or not.
All
What
time?
else is he in?
Not much. But
Made a hell of an impression.
he
on
made a
Brandon,
hell
though.
of an impression, man.
I'm like, I don't know what else he's in.
He's damn good. He was in that show Person of Interest with remember Jim Caviezel? He's like a crazy
Yeah. I mean, in real
wackadoo
life or
now.
yeah, I
In
was
real
like-
life.
I was like, is that the character or the real
no,
guy?
the character was cool. he was like an assassin that helps people. You know what I mean? Real network TV stuff.
Yeah.
But he was also in The Legend of Zorro, the worst Zorro movie of the two,
I mean, still,
with
I still-
Antonio
yeah.
Banderas.
Yeah.
He's also in Saw, the first Saw.
Oh, you know what? I do remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he plays
That guy. Yeah.
Zell,
Whatever it is. Yeah.
something like that.
Who do you want to see him play?
Well, he could play Jimmy Simpson's character. No offense to Jimmy Simpson, recasting him at all.
Yeah,
Good,
why would
yeah.
you recast Jimmy Simpson?
You know, he just likes because
could
Michael
play-
Emerson
he
plays
could-
he plays like a good little weaselly guy. You know
He
what I
could
mean?
play Jimmy Simpson's character during the Mandalorian timeline.
Yeah.
So in another 30 years.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
He could play. He could do anything. Honestly,
He could play Snoke.
He could play Snoke.
You know,
no
in our
offense,
Snoke sequel.
Andy Serkis,
gosh.
Yeah.
but he'd be my number one pick. Obviously, there's Terry O'Quinn who plays Locke. He's great in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Matthew Fox isn't doing much. Get him on.
I don't think I need Matthew Fox in anything though.
No.
He
I
could
like him as
surprise.
Jack,
He could surprise.
but I
me.
don't know that anything else I've seen him in
Yeah,
He'd be a good
impresses me.
crosshair.
Would he though?
No.
All right,
Give me
speaking of-
Sawyer. I'll take
So
Sawyer.
I was gonna say Josh Holloway,
Who plays Sawyer?
who
Yeah.
plays Sawyer in Lost.
He'd be great. He would be.
I want to see him play either Dash Rendar
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
or young. What is his name?
Young Indiana
No,
Jones.
from Solo.
Young
Beckett.
Young
Tobias
Beckett?
Beckett.
Young
Tobias
Tobias
Beckett?
Beckett. You want to see him kill
You want to see him
or
be a
Singh?
younger Tobias Beckett? What?
Yeah, Josh Holloway.
He's not that young anymore.
No, but he's younger than fucking
By like, I don't know, not that much.
5 or 6 years. No, yeah, you're right. I probably I would like to see him, but I would
he
like,
could just be a scoundrel.
but like that type of character.
Yeah.
I'd love to
But
see.
I want to see him kill Ara Singh.
Oh my god.
Dominic Monaghan back as
No.
What's his
No,
name?
hold on. You get Dominic Monaghan,
Yeah.
Greg Grunberg.
Yeah, Greg Grunberg also.
And I don't know the guy's name. He's in Force Awakens.
yeah.
He plays
Oh,
General
yeah.
Sarturo.
Oh yes.
and
Oh.
Miles from Lost.
Yeah, Miles from Lost.
I can't remember the actor's name.
And then we'll get Daniel Faraday,
Oh my gosh.
and that's your Rogue Squadron movie.
Oh. Well, so did someone tell you? They're no
I know. We should
longer-
talk about that.
Yeah,
Guys.
Do we have any more questions though? Or
No,
That was the last.
but you need
okay.
to answer. Do you got an answer?
Yeah, I want
else
the
from-
dog. I want the dog.
Frank, I got bad news for you.
I'm trying to think who else from Lost is
Why?
already
The
in
dog
Star
lives.
Wars.
Dogs live forever.
Harold Perrineau would be great. He was also in The Matrix.
Who's that?
Oh wait. Who plays
He's,
Penny?
he's
Yeah,
Michael.
yeah.
What's his name?
Desmond.
Desmond. Yes, Desmond
Yeah.
needs to be in a Star Wars
Yeah,
movie.
Henry.
Holy hell.
I want
Ian
him as a
Cusick.
Mandalorian.
Henry Ian Cusick.
Damn, dude. I want him as a politician. Actually,
He would be a good Mandalorian.
Yeah, he could play like if they do a Bloodlines adaptation, he could play Ransom Casterfo
dude. Oh yeah.
or Casterfo.
Cash for foe. Yeah.
Well, okay, so this is an interesting thing. It said one way in the audiobook, it said another way by
Yeah, I remember reading it one. I've only
Yeah.
read it. I haven't listened to the audiobook actually.
Yeah, it said one way in the audiobook, and then is it Claudia Gray?
Yeah.
Yeah, Claudia Gray pronounces it a completely different
Interesting.
way.
Speaking of books, let's talk a little bit about Jedi Battle Scars.
We just did.
I mean, yeah, but like a little bit more though, because
Okay.
if you didn't watch our Mando coverage,
We're
from
not going to
Thursday,
spoil. We're not going to spoil anything.
I'm just gonna give you to where my impressions thus far. I'm only 6. Well, at this point, I'm probably a little bit further now. But at point of this recording, I'm 6 chapters into it. I'm liking how it is written so far about kind of the type of journey and like missions, if you will, that they're on. I do like the dynamic that's being set up with some new characters. And I'm actually enjoying the writing style in terms of the tone in which it's written in. It has kind of like an attitude about it.
They do a very good job of writing from the POV of the character. So each the narration for each, it's not first person, it's still third person.
Yeah.
But it is written with a tone that matches the thought process of the character.
Yeah, and it makes it a very, at least for me, it makes it a very fun read because I do like kind of the, kids.
This is
Kids these days.
This is why you should read Dresden Files. That's how it's written.
Okay.
The whole thing.
Okay.
It's great.
Okay. But yeah, what do you think of it so far?
I have finished. I finished the book as of
What a
Wednesday.
nerd.
Well, it took me a day and a half.
It's
or less.
a really easy read
Yeah.
for sure. If I had more time, I definitely would have finished it as well by this time. But
So I finished the book, and I have a lot of opinions on how, without any spoilers, I have a lot of opinions on how they wrote Cal. I don't really like how they wrote Cal. I think they really simplified Cal down to some basic elements in order to let other characters shine. The benefit of that, it means that every other member of the crew shines really well. I also really like what it sets up for the next game. I will say, if you're going to play Jedi Survivor, definitely read Jedi Battle Scars first. Now, again, I don't know what's going on in Jedi Survivor yet, but the things that they set up are unavoidable to have implications for the game.
Cool.
And I will also say that it really explains why certain characters are where we see them in the trailer.
great. Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing the book. It seems like so far I've having a fun time with the read, and I should finish it by the time this airs on Monday. I
You'll
plan to
probably
be
be
done with
yeah.
the book. So And then Sean and I
probably next week at some point.
Well, yeah, we'll figure out to do kind of a whole discussion on the book and really dive into some of the events and characters in that book and probably speculate on what it could mean for the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you, like Sean said, if you plan on playing the game, just from the 6 chapters I've read, I feel like
it's gonna. It 10 years between the games?
I don't recall.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much time it is,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of time between the 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it's 5 or 10 years, but they're also not very clear in the book how much time has passed. But it's been a couple years.
Yes,
I know it's been a couple years, but I don't know how.
This means
long.
the Inquisitors are really bad at their jobs.
Well, we also spoiler. We see a familiar Inquisitor.
Oh, okay.
It's very.
I've just
very
gotten
great
to the part in
interactions.
the book where it's like, hey, I don't think this is a spoiler because it's on the cover. There's an Inquisitor on the cover, isn't there?
I don't know. I didn't look at the cover.
There's an Inquisitor on the cover, right? Yeah. Anyways, I've gotten to the part where they're like, all right, where they just mention the Inquisitor. I'll say that's all I'll say because that's all I know actually. So
I've seen the Inquisitors in
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, there is an Inquisitor on the cover.
yeah, wasn't it like the second whatever brother?
fifth
is?
brother.
Fifth brother. There we go. Second sister, fifth brother. Blah, blah,
With
blah.
the dumb hat.
Yeah.
He's the one that's in Kenobi, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, he's in Kenobi and he's in Rebels.
Yeah.
Yes. All
Kinda
right.
talks like this.
Hey, Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins. Yeah.
Not making a movie.
Nope. Nor is
For
Kevin
anyone,
Feige.
apparently.
Nor is Kevin Feige. But apparently Taika, that thing's still in the works, and apparently he's gonna star in it. Which
Do you
I
think
don't
it's
know,
the
man.
IG-11 movie?
look, honestly,
That could be fun.
I might not be completely mad about
Here's
that.
the thing, like,
If only that means we're getting Mandalorian, Mando, Din, Grogu in a movie.
Taika Waititi's a great filmmaker. Up until Thor: Love and Thunder, it was nothing but bangers coming from
Hey, you know
him.
what?
Sure.
I don't have any negative opinions on Thor: Love and Thunder.
You
I
didn't see
didn't,
it.
I didn't hate it.
I haven't seen it.
I didn't.
Yeah, you're right, Frank.
I didn't hate it, but I understand. Like in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, that like, and then like, there's like, I had stuff like behind the scenes. Like Taika just seemed like he was like just like too busy, like
He's doing a lot.
caring about everything else.
Yeah.
Other than making the movie, I don't know. I don't know how much of that is true, but so I mean, if he gets his crap together,
First of all,
he's a great filmmaker.
I'll say, yeah, just look at Jojo Rabbit. Like, people will point towards his stickiness, with Thor and the way he, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I do. Counterpoint.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm probably on your side on this. Like, people look at kind of like his humor, and especially even like the season finale of season 1, or the 7th episode of season 1 with the
Which he
back and
directed.
forth, which he directed, the back and forth with the stormtroopers. That took some people out of it, which I get because there was like, oh, that's Taika humor, and some people aren't keen on that type of humor with Star Wars, which, sure, whatever, that's your opinion. I don't necessarily feel that way, but it's also like, I think people feel like he's going to make some sort of like comedy with a Star Wars film where I feel like,
Great.
A, yeah, he could do that, but also B, he's also much more than, I feel like he's gotten like pigeonholed
Also,
into whether it's
Star
like
Wars
what we
is
do in the
funny.
shadows or the Thor movies now. It's just like, well, he did make Jojo Rabbit, which is a phenomenal film, which I do recommend seeing if you have not. Like, it's legitimately great. It was my favorite movies that came out that year, whichever year that was. So like I think he is I was very well talented in whether he's behind the camera or in front of it. So I'm not so poo-pooing the idea of a Taika movie. I would just like to know, what is it going to be about? Because until then, I really can't say one way or the other of like, what to have an opinion on him making a Star Wars movie. I just know that he can make good movies. He has made good movies. And if it's taken him this long to get to a Star Wars project, fine. Because like you said, maybe he was preoccupied with other things. And if he can just focus on a Star Wars story, write it, develop it, all of that, and possibly act, if he can take all that on, then great. And I hope it's a great Taika Waititi Star Wars movie that we get in the future.
Yeah. Counterpoint.
Sure.
Lord Miller.
What about him?
So I just worry that it could be like a Lord Miller situation where it is not taken seriously, because I don't think that he took the Thor property seriously. I think that really worked for Ragnarok.
Yeah. Well, didn't he co-write on Ragnarok?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
He co-wrote on Ragnarok, but wrote all of Love and Thunder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but he would be writing whatever this Star Wars property is.
But no doubt there'd be other people in there with like,
and that's different than filming a Lawrence Kasdan Han Solo script.
Yeah, I agree. But I just want to like I'm just so that we have someone giving the counterpoint, right?
Yeah.
Like we've seen when someone does not take Star Wars seriously, you don't end up with a good end product, which is why Ron Howard had to be brought in to fix that movie, right? And so I do think there's potential there for there to be a little bit of
I guess you could say creative differences between
creative differences. I think between the general idea of Star Wars, much like we talk about the R-rated Star Wars film.
Sure.
Right? I think there's possibility for a creative difference between that and the end product. That being said, if I were to pitch my Taika Star Wars movie, I got two options for you.
Okay.
Right? Option one.
Baby Greedo.
3PO's day off. All right.
What period of time?
It is set during the dark times, so the period between episode 3 and 4. And the Tantive 4 is stopping off for a refuel, and 3PO gets separated. And it's just 3PO, and he's got to get back to the Tantive 4 before launch.
And Bail Organa goes right into the camera. 3PO!
What if 3PO's day off was the day before the Jedi Temple got sacked? And it was just like, man,
he's picking up Padme's dry clean.
And the whole movie ends with
it should be 3PO's day out, not
3PO's day out. Yeah. Oh lordy, what's your other one?
More serious. I would like a live action Star Wars Resistance.
Dang.
With Donald Faison and the crew of that.
That'd be cool.
Whatever that space station's called.
Oh, I forget too.
But that's got a comedy flavor to it that I think works really well.
Totally.
And you've got Bucket.
Bucket's
great.
Yes.
Bucket's best droid.
There's some good characters in there.
And you could put Poe Dameron in it, right?
Totally. I mean, he was in there.
Poe Dameron, you're alive.
He's alive.
He says that in the movie. How did he get off Jakku? Ever find that out?
Yeah, it's in the. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching today. Guys, tune in on Thursday for our Mandalorian review. Episode 3, titled, I'm calling it now, The Big One.
The Big One.
The Big One. Chapter 19, The Big One.
Well, there's an episode of the Book of Boba Fett called The Mandalorian. So I think this one's going to be called The Boba Fett.
What if it's called The Clone?
I think it'll be called honestly, in all seriousness, I think it will be called the Mythosaur.
I don't know. We're gonna maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Won't we?
Yeah. Anyways, tune in Thursday for that. Check out our Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Napster, Snapchat, Spotify,
Apple Podcasts.
There
you go.
MySpace.
Nope.
Friendster.
No one's listening anymore, Sean.
And
the Discord.
Yeah, hop in the Discord.
Send us your questions for next week. Either tweet them to us, send them via canary, pigeon. I'm just listing things at this point. Guys, thanks for coming. We'll see you next week.
Scoundrel. I like the sound of that.